Hey everybody, and we're back here on Inside the Ropes, and we are joined by the man who's going to be challenging Jon Moxley for the AEW World Championship this Saturday at All Out.
Ken, I got to stop you right off the whip. Got to stop you. It's Dictator John. Can you just try that one more time, please? And for the rest of this interview, please make sure that you say Dictator John. I know that our PR team had spoken to you about this. I know Nina had sent you several emails about this, and I don't want us to get off on the wrong foot.
And I wouldn't want to get wouldn't want to get Nina in trouble. Okay, so this Saturday, MJF is going to be facing Dictator John at All Out for the AEW World Championship. This is a huge deal. People are excited about this match. It's a big main event. The thing I wanted to ask you about was the political campaign has just been cracking everybody up. There's a lot of real-life background with the election coming up in November. What made you decide that now was the time that a political campaign was what was needed to go after Dictator John?
There were a lot of terrible bullshit politics going on in AEW behind the scenes that a lot of you people unfortunately don't realize, and all of them were at the helm of Dictator John. The man rules with an iron fist, and he clearly does not care about anybody's well-being, as you can see. That's one. Two, my major issue with Dictator John is the fact that he is a world champion, because people want to be like Dictator John. They look at him, they go, he has the world title. I want to be like him. And in order to be like him, that means I have to do this car crash style. That means I have to hurt myself and my opponent. That means I have to go to the floor, to the outside, the guardrails, the chairs, the stairs, the tables. I don't believe in that. I don't. I want to win this title to ensure people that you can be a world champion and not have to succumb to these evil, disgusting, backlot brawling, car crash style ways. You can be a great world champion simply by being a great professional wrestler. And that's why I started this very important campaign, hashtag MJF 2020, because people need to understand it's time to change the culture. It's time to change the way that pro wrestlers and pro wrestling fans look at what good wrestling is. You know what good wrestling is, Kenny? Wrestling. Not diving, not hitting someone over the head with a chair, not trying to dump someone on the top of their head. That's not what wrestling is. And I'm bringing wrestling back.
I've got to ask, how are you physically? We still see the neck brace. It's this weekend. Are you close to 100%?
Kenny, I'm in pain every day. And I just, I don't want to get emotional here. I'm just hopeful that I'm up to 100% come game day. And I know throughout my hard work and my training that I will be. But the unfortunate fact of the matter is this. I don't know if my neck is ever going to be the same again. And that's why the paradigm shift isn't a move, Ken. It's an abomination, and it had to be stopped. And I'm glad that me and my lawyer were able to make that happen. What I'm not glad about is this addendum that he made, with that Dictator John made, but that is besides the point, and it's something that we're going to have to handle this upcoming Dynamite.
Now, I do need to ask you, this is not me saying this, but people have been speaking. I need to let you rebut. Some people are saying that if you face him and he's not allowed to use the paradigm shift, is it a real victory over Dictator John? What do you say to those people?
To those people, I say you're a smooth-brained, pencil-necked miscreant. You do not understand what you're talking about. I was not doing this to get an edge on Dictator John. Quite the contrary. I did this again to change the culture. The paradigm shift is a lethal move. I have no control over my arms, and I get dumped onto the top of my head. He's done this to multiple people and have almost ended multiple careers because of this. I'm trying to save not just myself, but our roster from this savage. So that's what I want to explain to those smooth-brained idiots. I am doing this not for me, not to get an edge. I'm doing this because I care about the well-being of myself and others in the ring.
Well, something else I want to ask you about, it happened a couple of weeks ago in Dynamite. You were walking to the ring and you shoved one of your cohorts out of the way, and that made a clip surface online of Samoa Joe shoving someone out of the way a few years ago in NXT.
Yeah.
Was that
I don't know who that guy was. A lot of people think it was me. That was not me.
Are you a twin? Is there something we don't know?
Kenny, it's fake news. I mean, the guy did look, I'll admit it, the guy vaguely looked like me, but I didn't see it to such an extent that everybody else did. That guy, that security guard, it seemed like he was trying to do his best job, protecting Joe. He was getting in front of him. The wall was closing in on him. If anything, I would have gave that guy a raise. But that was not me, Kenny. Absolutely not.
Well, I mean, yeah, we'll hope that guy doesn't appear in the Indies sometime soon and try and take your look. But
it wouldn't shock me, Kenny. A lot of people are trying to steal a lot of different things from me as of late.
This is true. Well, listen, when you signed with AEW last year, you're right, you're one of the biggest stars in AEW. What was it about signing with AEW that was the right fit for you? Because this was the time for you in your career to make a big move. AEW was your big move.
If I'm being honest, everybody was making a bid for MJF at that time, and that's not hyperbole. It's the genuine truth. When people found out that my MLW contract were going up, I was getting contacted by everybody. But deep down, I wanted to be a part of something new and something fresh and something where I would be able to control everything going on with me. Because I knew if I went to the other place, and this isn't me shitting on the other place, it's just a fact, they would try to change me. And there's nothing to change, Ken. This is the picture perfect. This is the total package. There was nothing to change. The idea that somebody could have potentially walked up to me with a sheet of paper and said, hey, we really want you to read off of this. This would make us so happy. I wouldn't be able to live in that environment. I wouldn't be able to live with myself. Everything that comes out of my mouth is from here and from here because it's genuinely how I feel. And I wouldn't be able to be genuine in any other promotion besides All Elite Wrestling, which is the reason why when I said I'm going to be the top guy in this company for the next 25 years, I meant it. And by the way, that's not something that anybody can say. This is real statistics here. I am 24 years old. I'm already a top name, not just in AEW, but in the industry as a whole. I can't imagine how good I'm going to be when I'm 49. That's scary. That's scary. You know who's 49 right now? Chris Jericho. So, and we both started our careers around the same age, 18, 19. So it's all very exciting stuff, Ken.
And, not to get too deep in real life around here, but COVID obviously has been a big part of the year. It's meant that you guys haven't been able to have fans for a long time at the shows, but there are going to be fans at All Out as there were, socially distant. Does that change the dynamic for you when you're performing, having fans there as opposed to, in front of some of the other wrestlers?
Can you repeat the question, Kenny? Your terrible, shitty accent. I couldn't make out a word of it.
So at All Out, there's going to be fans present with...
Yeah.
You're going to have fans, real wrestling fans.
Yeah.
Does that change the way that you perform?
Absolutely not. If I could be completely honest, everybody was so excited when we brought them back at last Dynamite. I didn't really miss them much. I thought it was, if anything, I thought it was a positive that they were gone because they're very distracting to most. Not to me, though. When that bell rings, I'm only focused on one thing, and it's my opponent. And I better be focused on Dictator John because he's quite possibly one of the best wrestlers in the world right now. Scratch that. He's one of the best brawlers in the world right now. The man reminds me of guys like Terry Funk and Mick Foley. The only difference is I believe that he's not as astute in the squared circle as those two guys I just mentioned. I personally feel I'm going to be able to out-wrestle him. And I can tell you right now that crowd's not going to be able to affect that whatsoever.
One of the biggest moments in AEW so far was you turning on Cody Rhodes and then, of course, going on to defeat him at Revolution. How important was all that, you turning on him, you beating him? How important was that to getting you to where you are now?
For me, it was a stepping stone. I didn't want Cody Rhodes to be a stepping stone. I genuinely looked up to him. I genuinely respected him. But he did not treat me properly. And what happened was a long time coming. But I looked at it as a stepping stone of sorts. It was the biggest one of my career up to that point. And, yeah, I think it really helped solidify me as a top guy in all of pro wrestling, for sure. I'm just ashamed of the fact that it had to go down the way it had to go down.
Do you ever see you and Cody getting on the same page again?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Well, wrestling fans on the internet like to stir the pot, as I'm sure you're aware, and one of the things that they are talking about is you and Wardlow, and the idea that Wardlow may one day want to have a match with you or a title shot if you become the champion. How is the relationship right now, and would you give him a friendly contest when you become the champ?
Wardlow and me have never been closer. I took the kid out for a steak dinner this past week. He's a great guy, he's very talented, but he needs me. He's a gorilla. He doesn't know what's going on around him. He's a wild animal. And he gets to pick my brain every week. So that's what offends me when these fans are going, MJF's mistreating Wardlow. MJF's not treating Wardlow properly. That's preposterous. Nobody, and I mean nobody, treats Wardlow better on this planet than MJF does. I pay that kid an absurd amount of money every single month. He gets to pick my brain, which is filled with an absurd amount of knowledge. And he gets to associate with me. So it's all so ridiculous. He's more than happy in the position he's in, and these rumors need to stop because that's all they are, Ken. They're rumors.
And, with All Out coming up this weekend, I need to ask, how is Nina's job performance right now? Is she in trouble? Is she okay? People are worried.
Nina, I'm a little upset with Nina because I don't. Did you get the email about making sure that you referred to Jonathan Moxley as Dictator John?
I like Nina. I don't want
Yeah.
to throw Nina under the bus here.
Kenny, I need you to tell me the God's honest truth right now.
I got the email, yeah.
Okay, good. Then I'm happy with Nina, Ken.
Okay, good. You get compared a lot to Chris Jericho. People make that comparison. You guys had that great promo last year on Dynamite. Do you take that as a compliment? Do you take it, is it flattering that you're compared to someone like Chris Jericho?
It's funny. The comparisons were changing every week. Well, when I first debuted, the comparisons where he's another EC3, and then I surpassed those comparisons. So they kept moving the goalpost. Oh, he's just another Miz. They moved the goalpost. He's great, but he's no Randy Orton. Screw me, man. I mean, so like that's somebody I grew up watching and idolizing. He's great, but he's no Chris Jericho. Then I got in the ring with Chris Jericho, and people went, "Oh man, oh snap, he's not just holding his own here. He's kind of taking the ball, running it, and scoring a touchdown, And that's what I love about pro wrestling is the fans constantly feel the need that they need to be satiated and they need to be proven right. But no one's been proven right about me yet. The dialogue about me when I first came in was I was just a guy that was good at promos. Then I got to have the Jungle Boy match, and I got to kind of shove it down everybody's throat that I'm not only am I good at wrestling, I'm great at wrestling, but I'm a special attraction. I'm not going to come on Dynamite and wrestle every single week. That's not my job. Roddy Piper didn't wrestle every single week. What Roddy Piper did was he grabbed you by the balls, and when it was time for him to wrestle, it was either a pay-per-view or it was a big money match on TV. That's what MJF's all about. So for me, that was one of the rare instances I got to go out there and show the world how great I am as a pro wrestler. So do the comparisons of Chris Jericho, do I like them? Yeah, I love every comparison I get because they're comparing me to great talents. But I do find it interesting that the goalpost keeps getting moved more and more. I won't be shocked by the time it goes, MJF's great, but he's not as good as God. And when that happens, we'll have jumped the shark. And we're getting pretty close to those comparisons.
We are getting there. And you mentioned there Randy Orton is one of the comparisons. Randy Orton's had some fun on Twitter recently with the Young Bucks. It feels like if Randy Orton tried to have a bit of fun with you, that he may be biting off more than he could chew.
Love Randy. Great guy. I don't think anybody wants to get in a verbal battle with me on the planet. And I'll just leave it at that. And that's not me giving a shot at Randy. That's just me saying it like it is. To anybody. Nobody wants to get into a battle of words with me.
You mentioned in an interview a few months ago, and I thought it was pretty interesting, you said that you work smart. You work smarter than everyone else. You can do moonsaults, but you don't choose to do them all the time. When did the realization come in for you that working smarter was the way to go?
I don't know if you've ever seen clips of it. I used to do a Fosbury flop, and I'd land on my feet. Like that. Easy. Perfect. 10 out of 10 every time. And I remember I hit a Fosbury flop, and I tweaked my knee. And my opponent's laying on the ground. He's not wildly wounded, but he's a little bit hurt. And all I could think to myself was, I've potentially just almost lost my ability to win the winner's purse in this match, but also my ability to have a career. What if I had torn my ACL, my meniscus, my MCL, my LCL? Who knows? And I just thought to myself, there's much more effective ways I can get a win than this. And I don't care if people are backing me or not on that. And that's the other thing I noticed very early on. If I hit a move as simple as a clothesline and I win the match and people go, oh, that's ridiculous. That's not a finishing maneuver. Everything's a finishing maneuver if you're pinning your opponent. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. But that is the culture that guys like Jonathan Moxley have created. He's made you people think that I need to fall off the Empire State Building and then I can still potentially kick out. That's not real life, right? In reality, the bell could ring, I could take Moxley's back, hit a picture-perfect O'Connor roll, and I could win within 30 seconds of the match. And guess what? That might happen, Ken. That is why I love my brand of professional wrestling, because I can get it done without having to put myself in danger.
AEW on Wednesday nights with Dynamite has pretty much won the ratings every single week for the most part. The demos every single week. What do you think it is about AEW, about Dynamite?
Me. It's guys like me who are fresh new characters that people have not seen before. I don't know even why. And it's exciting. You see new talent that you would never see in the other programming. Guys like me, guys like, I hate to say it, Jungle Boy or Darby or Guevara or Ricky Starks. These are fresh faces that people have never seen. And people are going, wait, why are these guys so good? They didn't come from the land of Titans. We didn't have to. We've been ready. We just didn't want to go to the other spot. I'm AEW bred and I'll be AEW dead. This is the company I'm going to have my whole entire career in. And I've also noticed that a lot of people in my age group feel the same way. The tides are turning here, and it's a very exciting time, not just for wrestling fans, but for wrestlers, because we created this incredible alternative. But like I said, I'm in this for the long haul. I can't wait till we go from being the alternative to being the place. And I'm telling you, Ken, this isn't a guess. This isn't a mystical question. This is a reality. In 25 years from now, as I've stated, how long I'm going to be here, I'm going to be able to look dead into that camera and I'm going to be able to say, remember when I said we're going to go from being the alternative and transform this brand into the pinnacle of pro wrestling? Look at us now. And people are going to go, shit, I do remember that. I thought MJF was just talking all this shit. It's going to be a reality, and it's something I'm really excited about.
Now, when you win, and I say when, not if, when you win the AEW World title this Saturday night, what is the celebration going to be like? What's the celebration going to be like next week on Dynamite? I assume that a man like you would have big plans.
Look, for legal reasons, I can't say everything I've got planned going on after the match is over, but all I can say is this: it's going to be a good time, and it's going to be well-deserved.
Well, my last question for you is just, news came out yesterday that Brock Lesnar is a free agent. If he showed up on Dynamite and he wanted to face you for the AEW World title, would you be open to all comers, including someone like Brock Lesnar?
Of course. I'm ready to face anybody and everybody and prove a point that I can beat anyone and everybody inside that squared circle with my in-ring IQ. And that is something I'd love to do. That'd be a great match that I know people would love to see.
Well, I want to wish you all the luck in the world on Saturday, and I hope that your crew do their jobs on the way up, including Nina. And I'll look forward to seeing the celebration.
Thank you, Ken.